Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing Miss Coin. It's the latest film from Nemsia Studio, currently streaming on Prime Video. Now, it goes without saying that because this movie is currently available to stream, I think worldwide, this review will contain a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen Miss Coin yet, you want to go watch it on Prime Video and then return. But if you have seen it and you have a lot of things to get off your chest, or you haven't seen it and you don't actually care about spoilers or whatnot, then you can remain and let's get right into the thick of things. Now, to start by saying that the work rate of the guys at Nemsia Studios is something that should be studied because these guys are on a roll. I think in this year alone, the amount of films they've released, it's an impressive number. And it's not looking like it's slowing down any longer because, well, I need to know what they are doing over there and what they are consuming and because I honestly genuinely think it is impressive. Miss Coin follows the activities happening on the grounds of a secondary school boarding house campus. The shenanigans between the graduating students of SS3. Well, the class is not literally spelled out, but you're writing YX, so come on. And then their teachers. The story is set in the 90s. At first, I thought the film wanted to do this smart thing of exploring exactly what year of the 90s it is, and which I thought was smart for the sake of it. But yeah, almost as soon as I thought that this happened, and then we see on the YX sheet that it is the class of 1991. So the opening scene of this film, first of all, takes place in the 1800s. It spotlights this magical tree that does something crazy when people offer it blood. That fact is established. Look, I actually like that opening scene. At first you were, okay, what is going on? And then you quickly establish, okay, this is a white guy with slaves who are transporting him all the way to Benin. I don't think I remember exactly where they were taken off from. Then they encountered this tree that was nice, want to take a picture, and then stuff happened. And they established that this tree is something magnificent. And then the way we transcended from there, I was looking for the right word, but the way we moved from that 1800 scene to present day for the film's timeline, that's the 1990s, was nice. It was captivating. I liked it. I found myself rewinding to, in case I missed something because it was nice to see. And yes, generally the opening scene was nice, and then it just gets you into the moment. Prior to seeing this film, we had seen the trailer, which I reviewed somewhere. I reacted to the trailer, gave my thoughts and theory. You can watch it somewhere here. And also, I had thoughts and opinions about what this was going to happen. And then generally, the trailer told us that this is going to be a horror film. We knew that. But when this one starts, say for the opening scene where we see a decapitation, the story actually takes its time to ground these characters, make them as humane as possible, or as human as possible. Humane might not be the right word because some of these kids are nasty, and some of their parents too. And also, it takes its time to establish the titular character, Miss Coin, played by Michelle Dede, which I think it's one of my favorite and strongest performances from her. And honestly, if I digress a bit, I can't even actually name, say, 5, 10 Michelle Dede film off the top of my head. And especially ones where she plays the lead that is captivatingly written as it is here. And yeah, I think we need to see more roles like this for people like Michelle Dede is a bundle of talent, that much I've been sure of. And if anyone was ever in doubt, Miss Coy clears that out. She is good. There are one or two scenes that will leave rent-free in people's heads. There's this scene she shared with Temi Otedola, who plays Amara, one of her students, where Amara was being very naughty and Miss Coin was really in her feelings. I was like, and when she broke down later that she's tired, really, really good stuff. Another of my favorite, in fact, I think this other person is my favorite performer in the entire film, Ademola Adedoye, who plays Mr. Mustafa. He is Miss Coin's love interest. Now, when I saw the trailer, I knew for a fact that this guy was into this woman because the eyes, they don't lie, and then it was really established that he's into her. And the slow boy, this kind of things that, yeah, while we both are teachers here, we take care of these kids, I'm pining for you, I know you're pining for me, and then we're doing it small, small. And yeah, that was nice to see, even though, yeah, it ended in tragedy of some sort. But generally, Miss Coin, it takes its time to establish its story. It was a slow burner, which I personally like. I think some of the best stories and some of the best horror movies. We've seen this with the Hollywood Big Shot, Sinners, a few months ago. It's a horror flick, but it takes its time to establish its characters. You see them, you like them, you love them through everyday simple life stuff. And so when the horror actually descends and people are being maimed left and right, you get to feel it some more. when the characters you've come to know and love are put into perilous encounters, perilous corners, you're feeling really bad for them. And so Miss Koi actually pulls something similar, which I like. Now, also know that this is not everybody cup of tea because slow burners, yeah, they have their peculiar audience. So I will understand if you watching this do not like that Miss Koi did not just go all out killing people. But I think that some of the best horror films are the ones that gets you to connect with the characters first on a human level before the killing start. So Miss Koi ticked my box on that. So it took its time. We could feel for all of them, from Miss Koi as this sympathetic teacher who has to suffer abuse from some of the parents, like this guy played by Kepi Baxi. He plays the father of Kanaga Jr.'s character. Um, he's a nasty piece of work. Kanaga Jr. and some of the many other students are piece of works themselves. Temi Otedola's character Mara is a piece of work herself, and Miss Koi is this soft-spoken, gentle, underpaid teacher. Yes, there was a scene that, you know, played off to make us understand that this lady is underpaid, even without them literally saying the word. Okay, so it's just sad and sympathetic. Now, when it looks like things were finally coming into play for her in the sense of her finding love, next thing, she's dead. She's dead by the actions and inactions and stupid actions of these students who have their own motivations. And I think it was actually good. The last character, Mara, is looking to get admission from Harvard and she gets a provisional one, but she must pass French for some reason. I was not understanding at first because, like, come on. But in universe, in the story, there was an explanation, there was an explanation for it. And it made sense. I mean, it held my attention. If you pass French or if you have French on your own levels, it will look good to the committee that would judge and give you the admission. So it made sense. And these are some of the things I think the film did right. Bits and pieces, if you blink it, you'd miss some of them, but bits and pieces here that made this entire world feel lived in and actually enjoyable. The boarding house scenario was something else I liked. I know this is not everybody's cup of tea because everybody went to boarding houses, but even if you did not, there's something about how it plays off that actually would connect with you, generally, because if you had gone through a secondary school, you would understand some of these things. And then if you've heard stories from those who'd gone to boarding houses, you would understand, so it sort of played off. There were some times when the story seemed too close to the line of the stretch where your stretch of believability could, start to waver a bit. But every now and then it found its way back. And this is all through the time when we were playing through that human story angle, So generally, I think it was a good film. It had its faults, and those faults sometimes can be very laughable, like this continuity error that I wonder how nobody from the actor, who is Dede and Temi Otedola, to the editor, to the camera person who gave this close-up shots, to the director, to the props person, how everybody missed this. We have a story set in 1991, and then Dede and Otedola is using a diary with a calendar that says 2024, which I'm guessing is when the film was shot. Down to the editor, nobody noticed this thing. It was puzzling. And of course, social media has had its feel of this because it is, we like call it an unforgivable error, but yeah, so many parts of it makes you just shake your head and you're wondering, come on. So there is that. There's some other bits and pieces of things that, we could have a problem with, things like the CGI in some places that are not polished. Now, generally, I think the CGI is fine. It's not the greatest CGI or use of CGI ever. It's not the greatest use of CGI ever, but it is fine. But there's still some scenes like this car crash, which I'm wondering when we could have just done away with seeing the car flip because it messed with the mind. We could have done an out, no visuals. We hear the car crash and then we see the aftermath where it is pieces. I think that would have had more impact. There was also this scene where Miss Koi floated out of the swimming pool. Like you could just tell, nah. So they're just bits and pieces of these kind of CGI shots that were not the best. But generally, I think the visual special effects were good. I honestly think they were okay. But the story came to weakness. Still some bits and pieces of things here and there. But generally, I genuinely think Miss Koi is a good film. Now, a friend asked me a question on Twitter and it was like, is Miss Koi a Miss Koi story? And at the moment when I answered it, I said, no, it's not. I said it borrows bits and pieces from that because there was this shot where when Miss Koi had transformed to this creature or spirit or whatever it is that was killing the kids, it was never really explicitly stated. The most of what we got for the law was that she is one with the tree, that magical evil tree from way back. So it's not explicitly stated what she is. But there was a time when she was starting to wreak havoc, and then she landed, and for some reason the camera landed with her shoes. You see red shoes. When I saw the trailer, it clicked to me, this koi connection. And there are some other one or two things like about the house setting that make you feel this has some connections to Miss Koi. So while I told my friend no, um, and that this was largely an original story. In thinking and reflecting, even though I have not seen anywhere the filmmakers, anybody has literally said that this is a Miss Koi Koi story, I stand to be corrected. I think if Miss Koi was to be regarded as an origin story for Miss Koi Koi, I think it works very well. I think it works very well. But because that has not been stated in best of my understanding, I am going to largely take this as an original story that draws inspiration from stuff like that, and then many other horror movie tropes, like say Dracula, for example. Okay, so Miss Koi, should you see it? I think you should. The performances are good. Ademola Adedoyin is a good actor. He played an Hausa character, like I mentioned, Miss Mustafa, and sometimes his Hausa accent starts to wobble because man speaks very good English, but his performances are so calm, so measured, and generally the performances are good. You won't really stay out complaining that this actor did not deliver. So yeah, good stuff from them. Good stuff from Josiah and his team. I think you should actually see it. It won't be a waste of time. Currently streaming on Prime Video. So let me know. Have you seen Miss Koi and you liked it? Let me know. Did you not like it? Let me know as well. Do you agree with me that it's actually a better Miss Koi Koi origin story? Than yeah. If you agree with that, let me know as well. If you think, man, this film wasn't for me, please no, don't sell it, don't whitewash it. Let me know as well. And I would like to see your reasons in the comments. Yeah. I hope I have not missed out anything important about this film. I can't speak for everything, but if there's anything I missed that you would like to talk about, let me hear it in the comments as well. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.